Welcome to the Scoop Order. Happy Monday. Wild NFL free agency day. Is the 2025 recruiting class the best class in school history? We're going to break all that down. It could be, especially at the quarterback and wide receiver position. We're going to go through all of that. As always, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being so generous with our Pay It Forward campaign. We've had a ton of new people sign up for that over the last 3 months. So thank you so much for that. If you guys are interested in a meetup, we're going to have a meetup the day of the spring game, 9 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. The Buffalo Wild Wings on Lane and High Street is going to be absolutely crazy. We've got about 1,000 people that have already RSVP'd. So come through, have a good time. It'll be a blast. But we're going to get into all of that. As always, if you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also, click that little alert bell. Again, this is a big show because you guys make it a big show. It's about to be awesome. And again, this class is getting better and better every single day. So we're going to get to all of that. Bring in Nevada. The 25 is almost it's crazy at this point when you think that a class could supersede a new class, but the 25 class is shaping up to be pretty crazy. Tavian St. Clair, Jamie French. Do you think this could be the best class in school history?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Helping Technician this morning. Helping Technician's one of our great insiders on our Ask the Insiders board at BuckeyeScoop.com. And he was saying that. He was kind of breaking it down for me where he's like, look, we're in on just about every top kid right now. And I started going through, the top 33, kids in the country. And Ohio State's got a legitimate chance at half of them, and I would say they're almost a prohibitive favorite to land 10 to 12. So yeah, I think 2025 could be shaping up to be a class for the ages. It's high at the top, it's high in the middle. There's really no low hanging fruit that Ohio State's going after at this point in time. It's all 4 and 5 stars, and when you look at this class, I think on paper right now in terms of where Ohio State's standing, and when you consider Ohio State's reputation in the college football world, and say to yourself, well, is that going to get lower or higher over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months? And I'm just telling you, it's only gonna get higher. The star's only going to get brighter. The spotlight's only going to shine brighter on Ohio State, and uh, I think it could be. I think when it's all said and done, I thought last year's class was going to end up good. And when people were freaking out about last year's class, I said, I think this will be one of the top rated star ranked classes of all time at Ohio State. People are like, oh, Nevada, that's crazy talk. It's a disaster. And then what happened? By the end of the day, it was one of the top star rated classes of all time at Ohio State. I think this one's going to be better. I think 2025 will be even better. And I think when it's all said and done, I think it will be the highest ranked star average class in the history of Ohio State football, and one of the highest of all time in college football history. I think it's going to be that good and that important as a building block for Ohio State going forward.
Yeah, and a lot of these rankings reflect like Devin Sanchez, Naheem Alford, Taven St. Clair's 5 stars. Carter Lowe has been up to 5 stars on some services. So there's 4 or 5 stars that have taken off. And then you've got Blake Woodley, Zahir Mathis, Javon Boggs, Eli Lee. But the guys that we think are going to jump in the boat are like Jamie French, who's a 5 star. We've got a bunch of guys that are like right on the cusp of becoming Buckeyes. So you don't get credit for that when it's this early in the process. But I think that when you look at who is coming and who is going to be actual Buckeyes, like it's scary. I mean, again, you got guys that are like Tavian St. Clair is like the number 1 player in Ohio, number 2 in the entire country at quarterback. So, I've always talked to you guys about how the quarterback position is inordinately important for a football team, and so when you have the number 2 guy in the entire country committed to Ohio State, again, it would have been easy to take Ryan Montgomery. Ryan Montgomery is a kid who's obviously had a lot of clout since his freshman year. Luke Montgomery is probably going to be one of in the factor to be a lineman this year for Ohio State. It would have been easy to take him, but Tavian St. Clair is a guy who's rising faster than probably any player in the entire country. Like I said, number 2 in the entire country at quarterback, number 1 in the state, number 6 overall nationally, and he's the guy that I think has no ceiling. He's the guy that could be a franchise type, top 15 type quarterback. So Carter Lowe is the guy that he's a 5-star talent. He doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, but he's really growing up quickly. Sanchez, cornerback, superstar. DeCorian Moore is the guy who I think is going to come with him. It's a 2 5 stars coming from that Houston area in Dallas, or excuse me, in Texas. Um, so I'm excited about it. Nevada, we got a lot of great feedback on doing the recruiting class kind of analyzations. Where could this rank if we end up with 6 or 7 5 stars? Because that's where we're trending right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, when you mentioned Jamie French and Tarvis Alford, Justin Hill, Marion Dye, London Merritt, Marquise Davis, along with Fahim Delane, Dorian Brew, Trey McNutt. I mean, it's a ridiculous class, and it goes across all aspects. A lot of times people are like, well, it's only wide receivers. This is wide receivers and linebackers and edge rushers and defensive linebackers and running backs and cornerbacks. I mean, it's literally, touching every single aspect of the football team. And I don't think Ohio State's done. I don't think the list that we just gave you is a complete list. I think Ohio State is going to be in on at least 5 or 6 other guys that are top 50 guys. So I have never seen a team at Ohio State with more recruiting momentum than we have right now. It's absolutely amazing what's going on. It really speaks to Ryan Day's emphasis on getting first-rate recruiters in there. We've talked about this, but now when you have 3 ace recruiters in Tim Walton, Brian Hartline, and James Laurinaitis, all kind of out there at the top of their game right now, recruiting with an NIL program that's firing on all cylinders, and a football team that's at worst top 3 in the country, and certainly one of the premier programs in the country. If not, in my opinion, it's clearly the premier program in the country, with the best young football coach in the country, and in a stability, in a world of instability, Ohio State is a beacon of stability for college football. Um, I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And uh, like I said, I was excited about the 2024 class. And when it came all said and done, I loved the class. I loved the way that we filled needs. I love the way that it kind of come together, and we kind of kept it together at the end. But this 2025 class is ridiculous. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. And I think the dam's going to start breaking shortly. I think guys are realizing that they need to kind of save their spot at the dinner table, and Ma's ringing the dinner bell, and all the kids are running from the field to get food at the table. And you don't want to wait, because you're only going to get the scraps. So you better. It's like being at the Nevadabuck household when I was growing up, man. You better eat early, otherwise you're going to be eating moon pies or something like that later on in the night. So no, I think people are going to be running, and I think the dam is about to break with recruits, and I think 2025 is going to be just an absolutely epic year.
I agree. I think it's going to be fantastic to see who lands where. Again, we got the quarterback, Tavon St. Clair. We've got the receivers. Carter Lowe is a 5-star tackle. So you kind of have cornerstones at every position. And it's kind of like who wants to jump in the boat. Like Jamie French is a 5-star guy. It'll be interesting to see how that works with Javon Boggs. I think Javon Boggs is a guy. Um, when we talk about some of the guys we talked about the last few days, like is he sticking in the class when you see 3 or 4 5-star guys show up in front of you? I don't know, but it'll be very exciting to see what happens. Nevada NFL free agency has happened. There are some Buckeyes that got absolutely rich. Jonah Jackson got a 3-year, $51 million deal to go to the Los Angeles Chargers. Your thoughts on free agency? Because there's been some Buckeyes that have had a pretty nice little run. That have switched squads, and there's a lot of rumors out there as well. But like Jonah getting that big deal, what does that mean for you in recruiting for Ohio State?
Well, one, it's just, hey, Greg Studrahar took for the win one more time. But yeah, 3 years, $51 million for any offensive lineman is amazing. For a Buckeye like Jonah, was just great. But NFL free agency just proves again why the NFL is the best product in the world. They do it right. They keep themselves topical 24/7. Free agency is just a ball right now, and then you're going to lead right into the draft. And Then before you know it, we're going to have fall football. And I kind of feel the same way about college football. College football now, with the transfer portal, with spring football, with summer conditioning, with fall camp, there's just no off season anymore. There's no more. Hey, let's kind of put the football things away for 6 months and then we'll start thinking about it. It's like it's football all the time. And for me, NFL free agency, I can't get enough of it. And I love following the Buckeyes. I love following the little story of where Justin Fields is going to end up. I think today was like, every minute you turned around, you thought you'd kind of found the answer to that. You're like, well, Fields is going to land here. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, no, now they signed Gardner Minshew, or he's going to go down here. Oh, no, they just signed Kirk Cousins. And so I think it's one of the great spectacles in all of sports. I love following where the ex-Buckeyes go. And no, it's gonna be fun to see, and a lot of great little stories to follow here over the next few days. So I know I'll be tuned to watch Adam Schefter and see what the next bomb's going to be dropping on Twitter. But I know it's going to be some exciting stuff.
Yeah, and like Jermaine Lamaner, who a lot of you guys probably have no idea who he is. He is a tackle for the Giants. He signed a 2-year, $14 million deal with the Giants, and this is really good because our boy, who's a big Buckeye Scoop fan, Thayer Munford, is now the incumbent to be the starting right tackle for the Oakland Raiders, or excuse me, the LA Raiders, or the LV Raiders. But Jermaine and him were splitting time. He had a nice year, but again, Jermaine wasn't like a full time dominator. He's a 5th round pick, came for the Ravens, played a couple games. He started 31 and 34 with the Raiders over the last few years, but wasn't a great player. I watched a lot of their games, and Thayer kind of spelled him sometimes. But Jermaine got a 2-year, $14 million deal, which is incredible, obviously. And him leaving the Las Vegas Raiders means Thayer is now the incumbent starting right tackle for their squad. So very happy for Thayer. I'll just be full disclosure. I had lunch with Thayer today. It was like you haven't lived until you've had a lunch with a guy who is living on an NFL team. And Thayer, when they signed Christian Wilkins for like a 4-year, $120 million deal or whatever, Thayer was very excited. When they lost Josh Jacobs to the Green Bay Packers, not quite as excited because Josh Jacobs is his guy. So it's interesting living the dream with a guy who's on an active NFL roster through free agency, because again, it doesn't affect his paycheck. But when you see guys that are his teammates or new teammates like Christian Wilkins is, I mean, it's pretty cool. And again, like that's the thing that's a good. It's a good thing for when they do these PDF files about this is a player that's developed here and Ohio State guy. Like the Jonah Jackson, I mean, I'd be putting that out tonight if I was Mark Pantoni, like a 3-year, $51 million deal to the LA Chargers as a guard, Pro Bowl guard. That is incredible. That's literally $1 million a game. Now, they get paid over 36 weeks now, which again, Thayer was educating me on the new CBA because back when I played, it was 17 weeks and now it's 36 weeks. They pay him into the offseason, but it was still pretty good. So, Jonah's going to LA, big time deal. Jermaine Alamadulur, who was literally the guy that he split time with, is going to the Giants for $14 million. And now that benefits Thayer in a big way. So excited for Thayer. Nevada, your thoughts on NFL free agency? I texted you when the Packers signed Josh Jacobs. You're a big Packers guy. We're not going to talk too much about it with the Ohio State football connection, but it does affect, as much as people don't want to agree with it. Like Ohio State football is affected by NFL free agency, because like when our guys sign these big deals, that's the first thing you put on that pamphlet that you send out on Twitter or Instagram. Hey, our guys got a 3-year, $51 million deal with Jonah Jackson or whoever, Mike Thomas, and I think it's really important to amplify that. But your thoughts on NFL free agency through one day?
Well, now how long's Thayer? What's Thayer's? Yeah, how many league years has Thayer been? When's Thayer up for free agency?
His 3rd year is coming up, so it'll be either next year or the following year.
Yeah, look, it's a great time to be an NFL player. I mean, look, to be any athlete in sports, it's a good time to be. It's a good time to be a coach. It's a good time to be a media personality. It's a good time to be an athlete for sure, because you're seeing these guys. For Thayer, he's got to be sitting out there going, "Man, if I can pull it together, have one good solid season as a starter,
Oh
I mean,
God.
how much money is he looking at? 10, 12, $15 million a year, or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of money, and you're talking, when you start getting into that range, you're talking about trying to, creating generational wealth. And that's part of the Ohio State story. The part of the Ohio State story, these are business decisions for these kids that are coming. And one of the ways that Ohio State's combating other schools that have a bigger bag with NIL, or a bigger, more attractive benefit program, is, look, that anything you get from NIL, anything you get from all this stuff is small potatoes compared to the generational wealth that you can create for yourself by getting to the NFL, by getting to that second NFL contract, by being an NFL starter. And nobody's going to develop you better. Nobody's going to prepare you better, nutritionally, mentally, physically, to be an NFL player than we are at Ohio State. And that's why Brian Hartline's able to land five-star wide receivers on top of five-star wide receivers, is because they see the types of contracts that are being offered out to these players, and they want to be part of that. Look, it's like any job you go to. If you want to go to that job that can kind of, or that school that can, prepare you and get you in the doors to be able to, create a lot of, personal satisfaction and material wealth or whatever for yourself. Look, and Ohio State football is all about that. And today, nothing puts that more on display than the first day of NFL free agency. And so, Ohio State having a good day today. I'm sure they'll have a good day tomorrow, and have a lot to talk about with these players for this great 2025 class.
And I'm telling you, like, that is one of the most poignant points you've ever made on this podcast. Again, we try to be very transparent about what matters to Ohio State. And again, obviously, winning the Big Ten, beating Michigan, winning the national title, all imperative for Ohio State's success. But, like, after that and winning the national title, like, the first day of free agency is a nice measuring point for Ohio State. Because, again, if I'm Justin Fry and I'm going out to recruit an offensive guard, like, how can you not hand him a little pamphlet that says, hey, this kid came to Ohio State for 1 year, Jonah Jackson, left Detroit, came to the LA Rams, not the Chargers, and got $51 million over 3 years. So $17 million per to play guard, not tackle. I don't know how you don't do that. And again, some of these teams are spending like crazy. And some aren't. And again, like that's why it's mystifying that Austin Eckler can get 11 million over 2 years, and Jonah Jackson, who I love to death, is getting 51 million over 3 years. But it shows the devaluation of the running back position. It also shows why a guy like Quinshon Judkins would come to Ohio State with Trey Henderson, because again, like, you're seeing these free agency deals, and you're seeing Christian Wilkins get a 4-year, $120 million deal, and then you see Saquon Barkley get like a 3-year, like $36 million deal. Again, those are all humongous numbers. I'm not denigrating making $36 million. Again, obviously generational wealth, insane wealth, but like Christian Wilkins is a D tackle. He's making $80 million more than Saquon with one more year tacked onto his deal. So, it just shows you the devaluation of running backs, and that's why like Trey Henderson and Quinshon wanted to come and get together and leave more tread on the tires and try to get that second deal, because running backs in the league aren't getting these major deals like every other position, like D tackles, D ends, offensive linemen. It's crazy. But Nevada, in terms of like running out this class with Jamie Fresh and some of these guys, what are your thoughts on how this explosion of contracts in the NFL and these guys from Ohio State that are getting these huge deals? How does that affect us going forward with the national recruiting success? I think it's huge for us. I think that there are guys who are going to say, well, these Ohio State guys, they come here, they get developed, they get paid. It's worth coming to Ohio. What is your thought on that? Because again, I think that this is a day that's like, it's kind of like the Super Bowl parade where you're like, hey, you guys don't get paid. Come to Ohio State and watch our guys get a lot of money. But what's your thought on that?
Yeah, no, it like I said, for Ohio State, you're going to be in a situation where every single one of these free agent signings, is a calling card for Ohio State. It's all about kind of developing the Ohio State brand, extending the Ohio State brand out there to high school kids. And you know, you look at a guy like we've talked about Urban Meyer, how what a rock star he was. When whenever he went to these schools. Well, Ryan Day now he's like the guy that's handing out the golden ticket. He's like Willy Wonka, going out there to these schools and is he going to grant you the golden ticket, the path to riches? Because it used to be a big deal in the NFL if a guy got paid $5 million or got 10. Or I remember when Mahomes, they broke the bank for Mahomes at $50 million a year, and you're like, oh my goodness, nobody will ever get paid that kind of money again. And you know now that's Mahomes looks like he was a bargain. Looks like they're going to have to renegotiate his deal up because he's so underpaid. So I think for Ohio State right now, it's a good time to be a premier program. It's a great time to be Ohio State. It's a great time with Michigan kind of going down, with Alabama going down. A lot of schools that are kind of in disarray right now or lost their premier head coach, and you're really looking around the college football landscape and going, well, who are the big dogs right now? And it's like Ryan Day at Ohio State and Kirby Smart down in Georgia, and then a bunch of other guys, and Lincoln Riley's kind of just a guy, Dan Lanning's just a guy, and a lot of good young coaches or good medium level coaches, less experienced coaches, but who are the elder states and who are the big dogs? Well, it's Ohio State. And so, yeah, no, today's just such a great day for the program. One of my favorite days of the year. And like I said, I just look at this as like the official launching day to the 2025 class, because every one of those kids wants to they want the golden ticket. They want the ride. And, now it's on, and it becomes really real when you see those numbers and you see how much those guys are getting paid. It's one thing for us to talk about it. It's another thing for those contracts to be offered. So I think this is the official opening of the 2025 recruiting season, and business is good.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I just think that like when you're a young kid, an offensive lineman, if you're Justin Fry trying to recruit top offensive guard, top offensive tackle, like we just had a guard signed for $17 million a year, 3 for 51. Jonah Jackson to the LA Chargers, Rams, Sean McVay team, and I'm just like, how can you not recruit to that? I mean, that's literally $1 million a game to play for the LA Rams, and I'm just these deals are going crazy. I mean, Michael Oniweyu, who played at Michigan and is a good player, not a great player, got a 3-year, $57 million deal, and it's just I would be capitalizing on this until you couldn't even see straight. But even guys like it's so funny. Even guys like Jerome Baker, who got cut by the Dolphins, he's going to get a huge deal wherever he lands at. Um, but then, like again, I talk about the Trey Henderson versus Quinshon Judkins deal. Like Austin Eckler, who a lot of you guys play fantasy football. A lot of you guys are very astute to who Austin Eckler was. Austin Eckler, who was probably a top 2 or 3 pick in your fantasy draft this past year, literally signed a 2-year, $11 million deal, which is insane when you consider his production. Now he's 28, so a lot of these guys, when they get older, like Derrick Henry, still on the market. A lot of these guys, when you get to be a 28-year-old running back, you're kind of like you're like old hat. But dude, 5.5 million a year, and then you see these old linemen going for 22 million a year, kind of wild. But I think that when you see the wide receiver pipeline that Ohio State's developed, you can see guys like, Olave, Garrett Wilson, like their second deals will be humongous, just based on how productive they've been. And that's only going to buoy the recruiting for Ohio State. Because again, I think that if you're a program like Ohio State and you produce guys at any position, it's like the high tide raises all boats. Like that's what's going to happen with Ohio State when they see these huge second deals for. And again, the biggest deal in NFL history will be C.J. Stroud's second contract. That'll be a $500 million over 6 years or whatever it ends up being. And then you've got Wilson, Olave, You've had a lot of really high major dudes. Nick's got his second deal already. Um, all of that will help Ohio State's recruiting because like, look, if you come here and you do right and you play right, you're going to get paid. And even Joe Burrow, who we can't claim because he was only here for a few years, he did a couple years at LSU. Like the money is insane, and I think I honestly God think that really helps Ohio State's recruiting. And that's why I think that this 25 class will probably be the highest rated class in school history, given the guys that we've signed. Nevada, with what I'm talking about, do you agree that even ancillary deals that we sign from ancillary positions will affect the entire class as a whole?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Yeah, I think the Eckler thing that you talk about is so fascinating to me because, as a Packer fan, I was watching Aaron Jones, and I was thinking when they signed Jacobs that they were going to have the 1-2 duo of Jacobs and Jones, and I think Aaron was asking for 12 million a year or 10 million a year or something. But when you see Eckler getting paid 5.5 million a year as an absolutely premier running back in the league, you know, it's um, it's funny how certain positions are valued so highly. Defensive linemen, defensive ends, um, quarterbacks clearly. Even the safety position. Xavier McKinney got, I think, 4 years, 58 million or 68 million, some ridiculous number like that. But then running backs, you know, you can be, so light. But that's what made the Jonah Jackson thing so interesting to me because 17 million a year for an offensive lineman. I'm not as familiar with offensive lineman salaries as probably I'm sure you know them inside and out. But where does that rate him on like NFL offensive lineman? I mean, that's got to be pretty far up there, right? That's a substantial deal.
I mean, for an interior guy, that's a humongous deal. I mean, again, he's not a tackle, and again, like Trent Williams makes like 30 million a year as a tackle, but like when you're playing guard, like Landon Dickerson, who's probably the best guard in the NFL right now, got 4 for 84, which again, monstrous number. Like that's almost you whatever it is, it's a lot of money. Um, but yeah, for an interior guy to spend 17 million a year is crazy. And again, this is what I'm going back to where we're at. 'Cause I'm gonna open this up real quick. So Brian Burns, who is a very good player, got 150 million dollars today, 87 million guaranteed. And the Panthers gave up a 2 and a 5 to trade, or they received that. So the Giants paid a ton to get this guy and paid a fortune to sign this guy. So again, like this is big money. And again, it's funny the deal runner there, Jermaine Alamalore. This directly affects our scoop boy Thayer Munford, who is best friends with Jermaine, and Jermaine is leaving the Las Vegas Raiders to go to the Giants, 2 for 14, and like Thayer literally rotated with this guy for the entire season last year. So a guy, Thayer, who a lot of people not huge fans of, whatever you want to say about Thayer, 2 for 14. They have the same agent, David Mugliata, who's the premier agent in all of the NFL right now. That's Justin Fields' agent. That's CJ Stroud's agent. That'll be every quarterback that ever comes out of Ohio State. That'll be his agent. So again, it's like I tell people, I was like, look, this is not a game, and this is why when I talk to recruits, I'm like, look, do you want to be developed and do you want to become an NFL, like star, or do you want to go somewhere else where you might play a little earlier, you might get a little bit more NIL money? It just doesn't make sense because if you come to Ohio State, like Thayer is now the starting right tackle for the Las Vegas Raiders, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I mean, him and Jermaine rotated every game, and I told Thayer, I'm like, look, I watch every game that you're playing in. Because I usually take Devontae Adams or Josh Jacobs in my fantasy drafts just so I can watch you guys for every game. And Thayer was just as good as Jermaine, and Thayer has a chance to make serious cash now that Jermaine's gone. He's going to be a starter for a full game, and like Thayer is ready for it. He's ready to grind, and I think it's going to be fantastic for him. We got a couple of super chats. We're going to go through these right quick. Ben G, thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member. Thank you for the 5. Is Heartline looking for varied toolkits in the wide receiver room? Seems like more French and Bucks excel at different things. Coincidence or by design? Nevada, I'll let you answer that first.
Well, I think he's just looking for best athletes available right now. I just think he's looking for the highest, just the best guys. I don't think he's really doing it by position. I think he's just trying to go out there, get the best guys possible at every position and kind of let them figure it out. Because frankly, now, and I'm going to say this, and this may be heretical, and people might go, "Oh no, Nevada, this is gonna," To me, I think the position stuff is kind of overdone a little bit. Like the whole XYZ thing. It's kind of like it's kind of like tackles playing guards on the offensive line. Like if you have three great wide receivers, but they're classic X's or whatever, like they can play the Y, or they can just put them out in the field and just kind of go out there and beat guys. So I'm not as hung up on that. I just think you want guys that can run fast and that can catch the ball. I think if you do that, you can find positions that kind of fit them. So that's why I don't think it's as important. I don't think that Ohio State recruits that way, and I certainly don't look at it that way. I want guys that can get it done, and I figure we'll find a position for them summer, whatever, no matter what we call it.
Yeah, I think you can't make it too, tough or whatever. I think if you have three guys that can ball, if they're all the same guy, that's fine. If you have, it'd be like if I said, "Hey, Nevada, do you want three Calvin Johnsons to play wide receiver?" You'd be like, "Yep, we'll figure it out." If they're all 6'6" and they can run a 4.3 and jump out of the gym, if they're not like a contemporary slot receiver, you're good with it. You'll make it work and figure out how to do it the best way you can. But I don't know if they'll all be in the class by the end of the deal, but I don't think that when you're a wide receivers coach, you recruit just guys that are okay. This guy's a slot guy. This guy is a X. This guy's a Z. I mean, I think that you sort of get the three best guys and slot them in where you can slot them in at. Quinn Tucky, thank you for the 5. Is Tyrone Biggins going to show up for your party too? Love you, Chris Drew. Chris, you better show up, bro. I give you a hat. You gotta show up and wear it. Chris is obviously a part of the Zach Smith show. I do not know if this is real or not, but if it is, you better show up to my party, my dog. Donald and Karen Rosbeck, thank you for the 5. Burke Carton can make that kind of money in the NFL. Nevada OH.
I
If I made that kind of money in the NFL, we would have a major sound engineer, and our sound would be on point. Nevada, your thoughts on that? And we'd probably also own a couple of spots out west. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think Burke Carton really with the NFL kind of money. I think Burke should have made more money there in the NFL. It's funny. I always tell Kirk the story. I have a buddy of mine named Eric Lechner, who was a first round drafted NBA player, 7-footer out of Wyoming, played in the NBA for a lot of years. Played kind of a journeyman guy and bounced around, but missed the big money in the NBA by like 12 months. Like was there, was just on the end. So he played when kind of backup centers made $750,000 a year or $800,000 a year, which is a ton of money. But then in like 12 months after that, it went to like 10 or $12 million a year. So he kind of missed it. So it's kind of the same thing with Burke Carton. Burke Carton should be making $17 million a year. Instead, we get to enjoy him every day here
For
on the
17
podcast
for $17 a year.
for $17 a year. I mean, if you were making 17 million a year in NFL, like Kirk would be literally blowing his nose with $100 bills right now,
That's right.
and not returning my phone calls. But instead, we get them. So, like I always talk about, look for the blessing. That's the blessing. The blessing is we get to spend time with Burke Carton, and otherwise, all his genius would have been lost to posterity there.
Yeah, it's kind of like if your show goes down, you can say, "Hey, here's the blessing. Come on YouTube." So I just posted that on Twitter. So it's very good. It's very much a blessing. Appreciate you, Donald and Karen, as always. You guys are the best. Sean Rollins, thank you for the 10. I hope you're doing good. I know my girl Kimbo reached out to you to give your kid a diet plan, so I appreciate Kim. Give Kim a big shout out for that. Appreciate you, Sean, being an ultra member and also being for the 10. Hope you guys are coming in strong for the show and also for the spring game meetup. Nevada, the spring game meetup is something I know that you will not make, but is about to be absolutely nuts. What are your thoughts on the spring game meetup on Lane and High at Buffalo Wild Wings? I mean, I've got about 700 RSVPs so far through my text messages, but I would love to know what are your thoughts on it? How do you think it'll go?
I think it's going to be crazy. I mean, now I'll definitely be in later in that. I would come in for April's just so hard. April's such a busy month, got so many things kind of going on. Um, but I might surprise you never know. But definitely going to be coming in during the season. If we're opening up a brand new Buffalo Wild Wings, I'll definitely come in for that. As for this event, I think it's going to be nuts. I think somebody compared it to like the gathering of the Juggalos. I think it could be it could be like the Insane Clown Posse. It definitely could be like the Insane Clown Posse there on. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to keep out all the riffraff out of Buffalo Wild Wings if they're opening up at 9 o'clock. So I think people are just going to be streaming in that place, and it's gonna be mayhem. You may need to pull out your knife from Shof there and show it, or my Gimli hatchet and try to keep people out from the door or something like that because I think it's going to be pandemonium. Oh, I
The
love it.
knife, the knife did get
There
here
you,
today,
there
and
you
the
go.
handle very substantial. My wife's like, "You can't use it; it's too sharp." I was like, "I like sharp." So it's actually exceptionally sharp. So, if I've got to cut my co-hosts off or whatever, or cut my audio to be even cooler, I'll be good to go. I'm excited about that. But I think that the meetup in for the spring game is gonna be fun. Again, it's something that we need people to show up for. Again, I'm trying to be serious now, but we'll do a giveaway for the first however many people that show up. It'll be substantial. It'll be something you guys want to win. So if you guys don't have plans, April 13th, we will be there at Buffalo Wild Wings on Lane and High. I think it's gonna be fantastic, and you guys want to be a part of it. So I think we'll have roughly 1,000 people show up early. I mean, they're opening the entire restaurant up early, and I think that people are going to be really excited to see us and see what we got going on and see what the giveaways are. Because there are going to be some big time giveaways. So I'd love to have you guys there. I think we are going to have some special guests. I think some of my former teammates are going to show up. So as they get all that hammered down, I will get more information for you guys. It's still a couple weeks away, but it'll be really fun. Um, Nevada, as we get into good.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, I mean, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but the win a viewing party at Kirk Barton's house is going to be one of the big prizes you're giving away that day, right there, where people come over and they get to spend some time with your kids and your dog and stuff like that, and like a kind of a day in the life with Burt Carton. And I think that's truly I might just come in on the chance that I might win that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, get there early, get your tickets, and hopefully you get the winner gets to spend time and with the dog licking your face down there in the TV room or something like that. That'll be fun.
Well, the best part is like if you win like the ultimate grand prize is that you get to go hang out with Nevadabuck in Manhattan Beach. You get to walk the Strand and drink coffee bean with him, and also you get to get a self engraved knife like this. It'll have your name on it, and you can shave Nevada's back hair with it. So it'll be when you
Oh,
guys are walking
very nice.
when you guys are walking the beach, and it's really hot and it's really sunny. Nevada will have a freshly shaved back because you will have a freshly made knife with your name on it, really sharp. I mean, this is like you could shave with this thing, so it'll be fantastic. And then you go to dinner, and then you might be able to fly to Portland or wherever you guys need to go. But it'll be fantastic. But short of Nevada coming out to my meetup, that's going to be the grand prize. So I can't wait for that
Yeah.
because the best part of our grand prizes is Nevada doesn't even know what the grand prize is until I name it. So it'll be great. I will ship you out there on my own dime, and you guys will be get to eat and go to the Kettle and go to Arthur J. And it'll be a fantastic trip to Manhattan Beach, California, because it is always the best. David Crow, thank you for Big Ski Ball Forever. Thank you for the 15. How can we get merch? That is a great question. I'll be at the spring game. We'll be down to meet up with all of you guys enjoying the show. Keep it up. Nevada OH.
IO.
Nevada, how do they get merch? And he's down to meet up. So do you want to explain the meetup or do you want me to knock it all out of the park?
Now I'll explain the merch. Now understand, we are going to be opening up a store, a virtual store. You'll get a link, and you'll say this is the store that's open for. It'll probably be open this week. We're thinking it's going to be, timing these things is always a little dicey, but it's going to be sometime this week. And the store's only going to be open for a few days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. It's only going to be open. And at that time, you can buy all the merchandise you want, but everything is custom made. So it's not like you can order and then send it back and go, I ordered the medium and I really wanted the large. So can you get, no, that's not how it works. So make sure you get your sizes right. Make sure you get the thing right. Make sure you know exactly what you want because everything's custom made. You get a chance to order and don't hold off on ordering because once the store closes, there's not a chance to order again. So you've got time limitations and you gotta get it right on the order. But when you get it right, there's going to be some incredible things. The legendary Urban Meyer white quarter zip, the hat, the hoodies, the shirts. It's gonna be a great drop. Get your stuff early, and like I said, don't forget at the end of 7 days the store closes, so you got to move expeditiously.
That was excellent by you. I mean, I'm not stunned because I know you know how to you know how to cut a reel and cut a promo, but that was really good by you. Are you surprised by that?
Okay. No, no, I've been working on the drop. I'm excited about the drop. Like the merchandise stuff. I'm excited about. I'm excited about seeing it. I think you've done a really good job working with the manufacturer.
Oh,
If you guys have no
stop.
idea, first of all, merchandise is a giant pain, man. It is a giant pain. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It's kind of a thankless job, but I'm going to take time to recognize Kirk on the
Oh
air and
my
say
God,
and say
stop.
a big thank you to my bestest buddy and big
Oh my
cuddly
God.
bear, Kirk Barton. Thank you. Good job.
So we're gonna have a hoodie with the American flag. We're gonna have a shirt that says "Massive," and on the back is going to have a Buckeye Scoop logo. We're gonna have the white quarter zip. We're gonna have the Nike hat. We're gonna have a black quarter zip, which is kind of covered up by my logo, so I'll try to pan that over. Black quarter zip. We get the black racer tank, and we also have a 3x5 flag that'll be displayed in every Buffalo Wild Wings in all of Columbus, Ohio. Um, but yeah, I get a lot of questions about merch because everyone's like, "Well, we want your hoodie, we want your shoes, we want your shorts." I'm like, "Well, I wear Buckeye Scoop stuff every single day, like every day of my life. Like we own this brand. I created this brand name, the logo. I invented with Sammy Silverman, so it's like I wear this every day. So I'm super excited. I've given out shirts to people. I've given out hats to people over the last couple of weeks. I've posted it on the Instagram for Buckeye Scoop. Just hey, if you guys want gear, this is what it's gonna look like. So go ahead and holler at us, and we'll get it going. But Urban Meyer wore that white quarter zip on Big Ten Network. So Urban and Shelly are getting a little care package. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get it all to you. The goal is get the drop open, the store open, close, and get it all to you guys by the spring game, so you guys can work to the meetup. I think that'll be fire. So again, I appreciate you guys, and again, you guys wear me out about the merch, but I appreciate that because I want you guys to be excited to wear our gear because I think our gear is sweet. I think we have a nice logo on it. I think you guys will be excited about the quality. Again, it's Nike, which again, people say they're one about Nike, but it's the same brand that Ohio State wears, so it makes it super easy for you guys to get your sizing. Again, if you guys are not sure about your sizing, go to Dick's Sporting Goods, try on a large, an XL, a 2XL, a 3XL, whatever, and figure out what your size is, and then order it. And I think you guys will really like the quality because I think it's gonna be really, really, really dope. And I'm excited to see you guys wearing some of this stuff because I think we're gonna have some really good quality merch. And you guys, again, you guys want it. We're gonna give it to you guys, and I think it's gonna be fantastic. And we're gonna have to do a lot of meetups. And if you wear the merch, you might be eligible for a really cool prize. So if you're wearing Buckeye Scoop gear, hey, you guys might want something really cool when we have these meetups at Buffalo Wild Wings, out Town Hall at Mandrake, the places that we're going to be having these meetups at that are our title
No, no, no,
sponsors.
no. Wait a second. Are you going to rig the raffle like Tressel used to rig the raffle to give the shoes to like the good player to rig the raffle for people wearing the Buckeye Scoop gear or something like
Uh,
that? Is that the way it's going
no,
to work?
no. The only way you can win it is if you're in Buckeye Scoop gear. And the only thing I'm gonna
I got.
the only thing I'm gonna rig is to make sure that you can't win. It'll be
Oh
everybody in the
no.
world except for Nevadabuck can win the grand
But
prize. I'm telling you, the sweet ticket like that Nevada's gonna pay for. Perfect. Oh, you want to sit in
no,
Nevada suite? Here it
but
is.
I already I already get every day with Nevadabuck. That's already I live the grand prize. You know what I'm saying? That I'm gonna go to Coffee Bean with Nevadabuck tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get a nice blended in a cheese jalapeno bagel, extra
Because you
toasty.
because you walk with yourself.
I
You
do.
walk with
I
God and
do.
Nevada Buck together. It's like
I do.
that's part of the Church of Buckeye Scoop. Is like Nevada Buck walks with him, himself, and I.
And
So
then when I got tired, Nevadabuck carried me. That's why.
that's right. AKA you laid on the sidewalk and people gave you dollar bills because they thought you're a homeless bum.
Oh man, it's just tired from drinking all that ice blendeds.
They're like, how's this homeless bum got an $8 coffee from the Manhattan Beach coffee bean? Like, he must not be that homeless if he's got an $8 coffee. But I'm just saying. But yeah,
Yeah.
the gear is gonna be sick. We got a lot of. It's gonna be a blast. Again, I want you guys to fill up this thing up to the rafters. We'll make it worth your while if you guys show up before the spring game because we are literally opening up Buffalo Wild Wings an hour earlier than they anticipated. They normally are open from 10 to midnight. I said, "Can you guys open at 9?" They said, "Yes." Bring people there, and I was like, "I've got a crew. I've already got at least 175 people confirmed just via my text messages in the last 2 days. So if you guys are interested in it, send me an email, Barton, BRTN at period145 at Gmail. So we get kind of the accurate head count. It'd be really fun. But I'd love to see you guys. Again, it's very low key, no admission price. I just want to see you guys in your smiling faces, and it'll be really fun. But yeah, it's gonna be a really good time. Nevada, eventually you're gonna get to a meetup, correct?
No, I'm definitely going to be there. I'm definitely going to get there. This is the year I'm going to try to be a little bit more active in Columbus, and who knows going forward. I may have a kid at Ohio State, so if that happens, I'll be there all the time. Then you're going to be like trying to get rid of Nevada. Just like, yeah, Nevada, why are you here all the time? And I'll be like, I'm just here all the time. So I'll be staying at the Barton household, and I can host the meet and greets down in your basement and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun.
Did you say the Barton household or the bar? Period.
I said kind of both, kind of both, exactly. Yeah,
I've
Bart.
seen the act. He's not gonna be
Yeah,
sitting in the household very long.
yes, I will.
Um, so Nevada, as we get into week 2 of spring ball, obviously a lot of these guys are on spring break. Licky Keenholz, your boy, and Devin Brown are both at the UFC fight. What are you expecting when we get into week 2 of spring ball? Because I think it's going to be really exciting to see, who steps up, who's going to be the next guy. And sometimes it's not always guys you expect. Like people didn't expect Thayer Munford to move to guard. Do you have any big proclamations or projections going forward?
Well, I just think the quarterback battles just, I know Chip Kelly is really eager to kind of put these guys to the fire and kind of see what he has and, he's going to try to challenge Devin and Will and Lincoln and, I mean, obviously Julian and Air are there, but, how much we're going to rely on them for this year. But I know those top three, they're going to get thrown to the Wolves. And, Chip's excited. Chip's excited about seeing what he can do with these guys, seeing he put these guys in some interesting spots, chances to be successful, and see him kind of, acclimate to what he wants them to do as quickly as possible. And they're gonna start working on all sorts of things, including electronic communications, because they want to be ahead of the curve, get ready as soon as they can in terms of being able to get that stuff going. But the quarterback battle it's kind of an obvious one, but it's it's not as obvious as people might think because Devin Brown has really got a mindset that I think people had written him off like he was out the door, that he was leaving, that he wasn't really going to be a real competitor, that this job's Will Howard's, and Ohio State wants it to be Will Howard's. They intended to be Will Howard's. Ryan, they went to the well with NIL to make it Will Howard's. But Devin's going to make it he's going to make it a dogfight this year, and he's really kind of putting himself in a position, mentally and physically, to be a real factor in this quarterback derby. And I'm going to interested to see how Will Howard responds to that. Because I think no matter what Will Howard thought when he came here, he's probably thinking I'm going to be just the first guy. I'm going to have the ball handed to me. I'm going to get it done. But I think he's in a real dogfight, and may the best man win. And we're going to need all of them to do it. But the Will Howard Devin Brown battle, I think that's going to be the battle of spring, and certainly one to keep a close eye on.
Totally agree. And I also think that when you're a third year guy like Devin is, and you know the offense, like you've got a big edge on Will Howard. So he's got to make headway the best he can through spring ball. Try to make your case for the starting spot, because I think that the longer that it goes, the more it favors Will Howard. Obviously, Ryan Day recruited the crap out of Will Howard. They paid him almost $1 million to come here. So, again, if it's all equal in my head, if the coaching staff is paying you, unless you stink, and again, Victor Cutler, who they paid a bunch of money to last year, stunk, and he went to Louisville after a year and he was trash. Otherwise, like if they're paying you a lot of money, you've got a big edge to start. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes. Nevada, I saw this photo today. It made me think of you. Quinshon Judkins, Trey Henderson. How happy does that make you? How good is that to see? Quinshon looks like an absolute animal. And obviously Trey's the best running back in the country. But what are your thoughts on seeing these two in the same backfield together?
Yeah, never, ever thought I would see a picture like that, short of it being photoshopped or something. You guys know I'm a betting guy. I would have laid a lot of money on the fact that Quinshon Jenkins is not coming to Ohio State if Trey Henderson's there. So another example of you just never know, and how football's changing, and also what a great teammate Trey Henderson is, and smart business decision all the way, but still a great teammate. Um, but I mean, a more dynamic duo at running back at Ohio State you may never see than those two in the same backfield, because it's literally I won't say the favorite, but a real chance, depending on carries, to be the first team All American and second team All American running back in the same backfield. And you know, I mean, it's kind of Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Yeldon, Derrick Henry. It's Chris Wells and uh, Antonio Pittman. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches at running back for Ohio State in a year where you need to have an embarrassment of riches. So, yeah, no, very excited about that. Also, little breaking news alert: James Nordice just came out with the tweet, the famous "the" tweet, which typically implies incoming commitment. So our show on the 2025 class being the guys could be timely, because when you see that from James, that typically means something incoming. Not sure what it is. We'll dig in to see who it is, but helping technician said yesterday he thought the dam was about to break. Things were coming in. Things were starting, kind of flying in over the transom, hot and heavy. But this James Laurinaitis tweet's got me thinking that it may be sooner than we might think. It could be this evening, so keep an eye on that.
Do you think that means that like Keenan Bailey's getting like a 10-year extension or no?
Oh, you and your Keenan Bailey. Oh, Keenan Bailey. Keenan Bailey stole Kirk's lunch money or something like that. There. No, Keenan Bailey's gonna be fine. This is gonna be good news. Doesn't mean that Keenan Bailey's getting beat up by the strength coach or anything else like that. I think it's gonna be something good for Ohio State, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I feel like every time I see this, it's like a Christmas present, because I don't know which top-rated 2025 recruit this is going to be, but I know it's going to be a good one. And James wanted to come out of the gate swinging, and maybe it's one of his guys, maybe somebody just hearing about. But with all the big names that we're in, with all the 5 stars we're into, um, as an Ohio State fan, I'd be keeping an eye on Twitter, because I think something's breaking tonight.
Well, are we rolling all the way until that this actually breaks? Because this will be very interesting to see if it actually does break.
Yeah, we'll stay here, and they can watch me watch like the Legend of Oak Island. I can commentate that to people while we're waiting for the next Twitter thing to break.
You can watch Shutter Island or Oppenheimer.
Yeah, exactly. Six Academy Awards.
I love that you think a ginger could take my lunch money. That'd be the funniest thing of all time. I was like, there ain't no ginger taking my lunch money. After he got dog walked by a third string strength coach. Like, that ain't happening out here. Matthew Shelton, next to the 5. As a player, how much did you pay attention to other position battles, and how did they affect the team? Can position decisions derail team chemistry? That is a great question. I didn't really care unless it directly affected me, which is the offensive guard, the tight end. The rest of them don't affect me. I mean, obviously, whoever my guard is a huge deal. Quarterback's a huge deal because, again, I played with a quarterback that sucked and a quarterback that was really good. The quarterback that was really good didn't start initially. The one that sucked did. So when they put in the quarterback that was really good, and he won the Heisman. It was really beneficial for the team, just
See, Kirk,
because
Kirk, see, Kirk, I love the way that you're doing it, and like you're not naming the guy, so you're not like
I'm
selling
not.
the guy out or anything like that. It's
Nope.
like completely anonymous.
I never. They would never be able to guess it
They'll
ever.
never be able to guess it. This is another reason why you're so good at this, man. Like it's like a mystery. It's like a guessing game. I have no idea who you're talking about. So anyway, but I interrupted you, so I digress.
Well, I mean, there's some guys that won the Heisman's, and there's some guys that were bust, and that's fine. And again, people can say, "Oh, I'm a hater" and whatever. It's like, but people lie, but numbers don't, which is fine. But like I have no idea what people saw in some guys and what people saw in other guys, and again, I had a nice media ban for a year when I said that a guy that won the Heisman should have played. And Steve Snap, who I love to death and was the best SID in Ohio State history, way better than the clown that we have at SID right now. Um, he banned me because I said Troy should play, and Troy ended up winning the Heisman Trophy. He's the only. Drew Brees didn't win it. Brady didn't win it. JJ McCarthy didn't win it. CJ Stroud didn't win it. Justin Fields didn't win it. Haskins didn't win it. But Troy did. So as a Big Ten quarterback, he won the big dog, the Heisman. Beat Michigan every year. Obviously, he's crucified for losing that Florida game where we sucked as a team, which is fine. But thank God we had him, and thank God Trust and Joe Daniel saw the foresight to go take a really good quarterback in that class, because otherwise, we might have been back in the '90s again if we didn't have a great quarterback in that class.
Now, do you remember how late Troy was such a late ad in
It
that
was
class?
like the day before signing day or something. I mean, he was like
Right.
the last guy. They said he was an athlete because they didn't want to spook, the other quarterback. But why? Who cares? But Troy was a difference maker. And again, like if you're a head coach and you're an offensive coordinator and your quarterback is not a difference maker, you have no chance of keeping your job. You're going to get fired. You're not going to beat good teams. Again, if you're at Ohio State and you're playing against Akron, Youngstown State, Kent State, San Diego State, Northern Illinois, yeah, if you don't have a difference maker quarterback, you're still going to run through them. But when you play real teams like Michigan and Texas, and those type of guys, like, you have to have a real quarterback. I mean, again, the reason we lost to Texas in '05 is Vince Young. And after we lost to Texas in '05, I prayed to God that Texas ran the table and won the national title. Because, like, I was like, well, if Texas goes undefeated and they run the table, then guess what? Like, Vince is going to the league. He's not going to stay for '06. We had to go down to Austin. And we were lucky. We got to see Colt McCoy, who's a freshman, second game of his career. And, we beat him like 24-6, which, again, for us, like, I don't care if we're playing Vince or Colt, but like, they were number one in the country, we were number two, and we whooped them. And again, Colt McCoy ended up having a long NFL career, really good college quarterback, Heisman finalist, but he was in game two of his career, so he wasn't really that great. So, again, like, I just like to be real. And again, people could say, Kirk, well, you're a hater. Oh, this guy could have done the same stuff with the same supporting cast. I'm like, well, he didn't because he stunk. But Troy did, so it was good. So
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
there's
but
my
Kirk, you ever think about like how different your whole career, your whole legacy, your whole life would be different if Troy doesn't get offered the day before signing day on the thing? Because think about who your quarterbacks would have been back then. And as good as you guys were, you're not winning. You're not going to the national championship and
no.
doing all those things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're. I mean, it's just crazy to think about how everything would be different if they don't offer this kid from Glenville the day before signing. Because I remember it being so late, and we were all kind of rooting for him to get offered, but nobody had any idea that he would be that good. I mean, I certainly did. You did from seeing him play and have an idea, but as a fan, Yeah, he was returning kickoffs as a freshman. So, like,
Hmm.
you're not thinking of him as like Ring of Honor, Heisman Trophy, only quarterback to ever win the Heisman. But it is kind of funny how life comes down to a few moments, and that one had profound impacts on Ohio State football in general, and Kirk Barton in particular.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, and I tell this to people all the time, and they don't believe me, but because everyone's like, everyone that's dumb and doesn't understand football is like, oh, the game is one of the trenches. Oh, it all comes out of their line. It's like, no, it doesn't. It comes down to the skill guys. Because like I don't touch the ball ever. I tell people, I'm like, look, Orlando Pace, the greatest offensive lineman in the history of college football, never beat Michigan, never won a natty, beat Arizona State, who stunk, and whatever. But it's like, did he ever win the big ring? No. Did he ever get a Big Ten title? No. So it's like he could pancake a guy on every single play, and it doesn't matter because he's score touchdowns, he's run for touchdowns. And I said, look, the reason I beat Michigan my 4 years as a starter at the Ohio State University, I beat Michigan as a redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore, redshirt junior, and a senior. And why did I do it? Santonio Holmes, Ted Ginn, Anthony Gonzalez, Beanie Wells, Antonio Pittman, Troy Smith. Period end. Like, and again, like, I could pancake my guy every single play, but if our skill guys suck, I have no chance to win. So again, the lines when you play Michigan in the Ohio State Michigan game, the lines are always equal. Like the O line's good, the D line's good on both sides. So there's a lot of stalemates, there's a lot of congestion, and you need the skill guys to make plays. Now, there's gonna be some guys, Kirk, it's got to be the O line dominating the D line, dominating the trenches. Like, no, because like the problem is like when you're really good in the O line, like most of the games are stalemates. Like you're not going to get just annihilated and murdered and slaughtered by whoever you play. If you're a good O line, it'll be a stalemate. And so who has to win? The skill guys have to win. They have to go make timely catches. They have to make big runs. Quarterback has to scramble or throw a dart and move the chains. So again, if people are stupid, and most people are stupid when they talk about football, like you have to understand, when you play a good team, if you're Ohio State, you have usually like 4 and 5 star guys across the board on the O line, and you're going to match up very favorably with Michigan or Bama or Clemson or whoever you play, and then you just have to kind of meter everything out. And when you meter everything out, like you need guys like San Antonio to make plays. You need guys like Ted Ginn to make plays. Gonzo. Go back and watch the games that I won 04, 05, 06, 07. Like our skill guys win those games. Beanie Wells. Beanie had 220 yards rushing up at Ann Arbor in 07 because he broke long runs. It wasn't because we all pancaked everybody. He's found a crease and went to the crib. So you have to have major dudes at those spots. I got Travis Hall. I gotta make sure I hit these super chats. Travis Hall, thanks for the 5. I'll donate a Buckeye Scoop barrelhead for the meetup. That'd be amazing. You can do that. We'll shout you out and your company out, and we'll go through everything and make sure that you get some pub. The barrelheads are very gas. Give me 1 second. Nevada, do you like the barrelheads?
I very much like the barrelheads. The barrelheads look super awesome.
So if Travis wants to do one of these, because I'm not giving mine up, this is what the barrelhead looks like. Buckeye Scoop, very fashionable, very fun. And if you guys have corporate logos, company logos, Travis is a great dude. You can hit him up. I'll get his email. You guys can, if you guys need it, hit me up at Barton, BRTON, period 145 at Gmail. I'll give you Travis's email. And if you guys need one, get it. It'll be fire. Nevada, Roger Smith, a Scoop Ultra member. Thanks for the deuce. Surprise Big Ten team this year. Starting 3 wide receivers, Nevada OH. Nevada, who's your surprise Big Ten team this year?
I'm going to say, if you're looking for a surprise, I'm going to say Michigan State. I think Michigan State's going to be better than people think, and only just because they've been so bad. But I think they're going to be a little better than people think, and might sneak up on some people and may actually. I think they're going to give Michigan a game this year. Let me put it that way. I think Michigan State's going to be better than people know.
I'll go Rutgers. I love Rutgers. I love Shiana. I think he does a good job. Starting three wide receivers, Nevada.
I'm going with
JJ.
I'm going definitely JJ,
Oh,
definitely Carnell, and definitely
and
Mecca.
Mecca. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
Yep, I'll
yeah.
do the same thing. It's easy money. Appreciate you, Roger. Thank you again. Chris S. Thank you for the 20. Great show, guys. In the future, apostrophe, or excuse me, brackets this year, is it possible to have a meetup at a larger place? 1,000 people at Buffalo Wild Wings is going to be a lot of people in a sports bar. Well, we'll see. Again, there's one thing about getting commitments and actually getting attendance. So we'll see how it goes. Again, we could, I mean, if we get enough people, we'll rent an Ohio Stadium, but I have no idea what the actual appetite is. People talk and they say they want to come and they want to show up and hey, do we have the patio? Do we have the back room? Do we have the front room? Do we have the whole restaurant? Like, I've never done one of these before. With Nevada, full Buckeye Scoop member. So this is going to be a great test kitchen. So in order to be a spectacular meetup, it'll be an epic failure, somewhere in between. So I would love to see kind of what we can get done, but you guys have to show up in force, in mass. We're gonna have awesome giveaways. So if you guys don't show up, this your loss. But it'll be really a fun time. It's gonna be I got them to open up for 9 a.m. earlier than normal. So we'll go 9 to 11:30. We'll go walk down to the shoe, go watch the game, and then whatever. But I just want to know how hungry you guys to get together because I think we're gonna have a really good crowd between the podcast and the website. I think we're gonna have a lot of people show up. People want to fly in for this thing. They're trying to book hotels. People are driving down from all parts of Ohio. So I think it's gonna be really fun. Nevada in the future, is it possible to have a meetup at a larger place? I mean, Nevada, if it's a bigger spot, Nevada might be coming in. But 1,000 people meetups, that'd be a dream for me. But we're gonna have promo people, promo girls. It'll be pretty fire. I already got it all dialed up already. So love to see you guys. But Nevada, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think that's the tough part. The tough part is really, we know there's a lot of enthusiasm. We know people, but talking about it and then actually showing up. But I want to see us show up. I want to challenge the Scoop family and the podcast family to come out in force and really, really represent. I'd love it to be mayhem. That would just be that'd be so awesome and so great for us. It's such a great calling card for us if you do. So don't think that you're showing up is insignificant. It's not at all. It matters. It makes a difference, and we'd love to see you out there. Also, I'm gonna make a call on the. I'm calling. This is like the election night calling where we are now calling the state of Delaware. I am now calling Tarvis Alford to Ohio State. I'll say that is what the tweet is about. I'm saying it's going to be the linebacker Tarvis Alford to Ohio State from the decision. The decision desk has just weighed in on that, so that would be again. It was one of our magnificent seven that we're looking for to get into the Ohio State to kind of bump us up the rankings. But Tarvis Alford could be a domino falling to Ohio State.
Is that your prediction?
Yeah, the prediction desk has weighed in. It has spoken.
Did you thank Funky for that or no?
No, funky. That was not funky, man. That was not from. I will say, I will not reveal my source, but I will say it was not Funky Panda Buck.
It wasn't. Was it Park Mantoni?
No, it was not Park Tony. It was not Park Tony either.
We're
Little Littlefinger did not weigh in on this one.
Littlefinger did not. You did not have to send Arya Stark after Littlefinger this time.
No, not this time.
Oh my God, you're too much, man. You're out of pocket. I hope you decide to show up for this meetup. That'd be funny. I mean, people are like dying to see because I might have to just have like some actor be Nevadabuck and say, "Oh, I like to drink coffee bean," and "Oh, I got all these scoops," and I'll just have like some. I'll have like, "What up? What up?" Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hire like some supermodel, like some smoking hot chick, and say, "Hey, this is actual Nevadabuck," and she'll be like, "Oh, I love JJ Smith, and oh, I write nuggets all day." And I was like, "This is Nevadabuck. Say hi to Shim." him.
Yeah,
So
we'll just give her. I'll give her a little coffee bean cup. She can carry the coffee bean. You see the
that's
person with
right.
the coffee bean cup? That's Nevadabuck. Exactly.
And I'm telling you, I'll get her like an AI voice changer, so it'll be like some hot chick with a Nevadabuck. He's like, oh,
See, you guys, you guys don't know.
So Tarvos Alford is in the bag.
You guys don't have a coffee bean out there in Ohio, man. So you don't know what you're missing.
No,
So
we
like,
suck. We had it when I was growing up, and it sucks now. All we have is Starbucks and their trash coffee.
That's terrible, man. It's just like coffee bean. If you had coffee bean, you'd know. You'd be like, oh man, coffee bean and In-N-Out Burger are the two great exports from the state of California. But
oh, I know. And the funniest thing about like In-N-Out Burger is that they don't have it in Missouri, so we're all gonna be laughing together.
But I like hearing people slander In-N-Out Burger from other places. Oh, it's not that great. I went there. It is, guys. It is that.
In-N-Out Burger is the greatest franchise that's ever been in existence. Like when I played for the 49ers, I ate there 4 days a week. I mean, I probably ate more calories than In-N-Out Burger than you have in your entire life in 1 year. I mean, I was getting 3 4x4s. It was fantastic. So I'm just saying, like people that slander In-N-Out, they're idiots. They're haters and they're dumb.
They're haters. They're just like, oh, it's not that great. I like this place. No, it really is that great. It really is.
Well, I have got to shout out our boy Devin. So if you guys are in the northern part of Florida, specifically Tallahassee area, got my boy Devin here. ONE, then WY. So 1Y services, SERVICES.com. So ONEWYSERVICES. So you guys will see Ohio 7715. If you guys have any sort of handiwork in the northern panhandle, surrounding areas, he is my guy. He's on Facebook. He is an amazing dude. He does great work, and I love him to death. And he was like, "Can you shout my business out?" Because I've been moderating and working my heart out, and I've been super chatting. And I was like, "Dude, just holler at your boy," because there might be somebody up there that might hire you for a gig. It's not that hard. But again, it's ONE, then YWY, and services, SERVICES.com. So holler at my boy. Again, you guys that are in this chat, if you guys are in Florida, which a lot of you Buckeyes are, he's in Tallahassee. He's a great dude. Obviously, he's on the show every night, moderating his heart out. But he does very, very well, does great work. So holler at my boy. And if you guys need any work done, take care of my boy. Nevada, I'm going to give you a final thought.
Now, here's a fun fact. You guys might not know this. We always talked about the pet raccoon. Did you know that a pet raccoon is illegal in the state of Ohio, but legal in the state of Florida? Bet you didn't know that.
You did not look that up. Did you look that up for real?
I just know that. I know
that.
Okay, check me. Check me right now. Come on, Google machine. Go to the Google machine.
No, I'm not doing it. You'll say, because what you're gonna say is, oh, bet me.
Yeah, bet me.
Escrow me the money that in Florida you can own a coon and in Ohio you can't. And I'm like, I'm not betting you because you probably did your research. You probably had one of your kids look it up and you're like, oh, in Florida you can have a pet raccoon. And in Ohio, if you have a pet raccoon, you go to prison for 100 years. So I'm like, I'm not doing that.
You can do it.
You only bet me when it's rigged and you know you're gonna win. So I'm not doing it because I know that you already have your stuff in order, and I'm not gonna do it. Smarter than that.
I know people are questioning that. They were like, "Hey, Devin shouldn't be talking about breaking the law, because it's illegal to own a raccoon instead of Ohio." I'm like, not in Ohio. In Florida, man, you can own a pet raccoon. That's why Devin lives in Florida. It's for the pet raccoon.
You're just like, that's why I'm partners with Kirk, because he's my pet raccoon and I can just own him and he can't do anything.
My big cuddly bear.
My big 600-pound raccoon who does the podcast every night. And he's sitting there and he says, "Ooh, give me some Chips Ahoy cookies and watch me eat them as fast as I can." Like a little baby raccoon.
Indeed.
All right, let's wrap this thing up before we get out of pocket and crazy. But again, appreciate you guys. Nevada, final thoughts, greatest class of all time, funniest podcast of all time as well. But your thoughts on that?
I think that we might be getting a commitment, probably not tonight because we're not going to be announcing until the 30th. But I have a feeling that Jarvis Alford might get a good feeling about this stud linebacker could be part of the 2025 class. So a name to keep an eye on in the future. Thank you, James Laurinaitis. God bless you, and I'm glad that you're the 10th coach at the Ohio State University.
Nevada, is James Laurinaitis more fruitful on the recruiting circuit than Parker Fleming?
Well, we haven't landed a single long snapper since James has been here, so we're on kind of a long snapper hiatus. So until he lands one of those, I can't say that he's better than the legendary Parker Fleming, but Jarvis Alford would be a nice start. So keep going, James. Go, James, go.
All right, so I'm going to throw this up here because my wife, who's totally out of pocket and is in my face and in my grill at all points of time of my life, is saying, Kirk, it is one way, ONE, but I literally was saying what Devin sent me. One Way Services Florida. So if you guys need kitchen and bathroom renovations, fence and redeck repairs, painting, flooring, carpentry, wood rot and siding repairs, cabinet installations, and more, holler to boy Devin. Again, he is Ohio 7715. Probably our biggest benefactor. Him and Tor are by far, and Tony Turley are the three heads of Mount Rushmore. So we appreciate you. Devin is a beast, and he's a great benefactor to Buckeye Scoop. So if you guys are in that Panhandle area, look my dude up. This is his Facebook profile, and we appreciate you guys as always. With that being said, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. I hope you guys had a great day today. Again, another great show. If you guys enjoy this content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Another fun show tonight. Very interesting during spring break. We appreciate you guys as always. Again, thank you for all your comments, your feedback. Our meetup. If you guys coming for the spring game, there's going to be some really good giveaways at this deal. So Landon High, which is 5 minutes from Ohio Stadium for those of you that are not familiar with the area, Buffalo Wild Wings will be there. We'll likely give away some really, really nice stuff. So we'd love for you guys to come through and kick it. It'll be a really good time. I think we're gonna have a lot really. I mean, I've gotten about 1,000 people so far in 2 days who've said they're going to show up. So again, if that actually happens, that'd be amazing. Might not happen. We might have 50 people. I have no clue. But people are very excited about it. People are going to fly in for this. They're going to drive in for this. They're going to stay at hotels for this. So it'll be a really, really fun time to meet a lot of the people that you guys have seen on the screen names on BuckeyeScoop.com on our podcast. So I think it'll be a huge blast. And if my Southern Ohio boys ain't showing up, be salty because I shout you guys out every single night. My Ironton boys, my Portsmouth boys, my Chillicothe boys. So Jared Haddle, that's you. Come on through, dog, my dude. Chesapeake, South Point, Huntington, West Virginia. You guys come on up for the spring game. It'll be a blast. We'll have a good time. 9 a.m. to about 11:30. 2.5 hours. We'll kick it. We'll talk football. We'll do whatever you guys want to do. Photos. Jared asks autographs. Anything you guys need, we're going to be there for it. We'll have some good guests for there. And it's going to be a blast. So I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. And thank you, Scoop family. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your night. And go Bucks.